We are back from a hot Miami Art Basel, and the NFT world did not disappoint. There was every major artist, every major collection, and every major celebrity all seemed to be on Miami shores for Art Basel. Me and my pal Stan were there, and we did not sleep. We were everywhere so that we could share what was happening at Art Basel for you today on today's show and give you all the news, all the gossip, and all the scoop. You do not want to miss today's show. Smash that subscribe button as we welcome our pal and fellow co host Stanley on Goats and the Metaverse. Stanley, it was good to see you, man, in real life in Miami. How was your Art Basel?
IRL. I'm still a bit sleepy. I'm still a bit tired. It was a little bit crazy. Lots of things happening. I feel like there was too many things happening and very
Way
hard
too
to
many.
keep track of. But yeah, let's get into it. We have a lot of news. We have a lot of stories. We have a lot of gossip. We have a lot of not really alpha, but some fun stuff. So let's get right into it. Tell us about what you saw. What was some of the most interesting things that you were besides obviously seeing me? What else was interesting during this weekend in Miami?
Yeah, well, my Art Basel kicked off with the NFT Now, the Gateway event. And I was really impressed. I'm an investor in NFT Now, so maybe a little bit biased, but they basically took over a section of Miami called Mana Common and took over a number of buildings and hosted a huge get together of all the artists and names in the space. It became a central meeting hub. And for those of you who aren't familiar with Miami, you have the beach side and you have kind of like downtown. And to get between the two takes at least 30 minutes in traffic, maybe 45 minutes. So you're either dedicating your day on the beach or you're either dedicating your day downtown. And what the gateway was for people who are dedicating their day downtown, there was everything and anything happening there. We had Gmoney launching 9DCC and minting t-shirts in real time. We had Artifact showing off their wares and augmented reality and their new crypto kicks that are coming out. We had Porsche announcing their NFT drop happening right there. And we had WME, the talent advisory and agency, talking about all the things that they're doing and all the people that within NFTs that they're representing. Along with that, we had art, we had all different speakers, we had DJs, we had music. It was a pretty cool event to see. I was there on the opening night. There was probably about 3,000 people that attended. And basically, I could have just been there and met everyone and called it a night. So that kicked off my NFT NYC. And each one of those activations had something interesting. We'll go into more of that, specifically what Gmoney was doing there. I know you're a big G fan, and we've had him on the show for a number of times, so we're going to dive into that. But tell me, Stanley, did you win a Doodle? I know you went to the Doodle Putt event. Tell me about your experience there.
Doodle Putt, I went with friend of the show, NFT Goats, who has never golfed before in his whole entire life. And before we got started, he asked me, I'm an avid golfer, for those of you wondering. I got my golf hat. And for those of you wondering, we'll give a recap of how it went. And he asked me a question before we started. He goes, like, you're a big golfer. Like, will it be advantageous for you versus me, like, on the, miniature golf course that Doodles have built out? And I said, look, it's like I probably have an advantage here over you. If it was me versus Tiger Woods, no, he obviously has the advantage. First hole, he sunk a hole in one. I did not. Guy never even held a golf club before. Um, Before we get into what else happened, the Doodles event was very, very, very cool. It was very interactive, a lot of attention to detail. They did a really good job of designing this course. And it was fun. It was fun. You got to meet people. It wasn't long, and they had a lounge outside. They had drinks, they had food. But here's the most interesting part. So you walk in, you play 9 holes, they give you a scorecard. You're not really even sure. I was keeping score just because I'm a golfer and I'm competitive. And on the last hole, there's a big slide. And you have to get the ball up the slide. You get the ball up the slide. There's like 3 different holes up there, and the ball disappears. You don't really know what happens to the ball until you walk over to the other side. So I hit the ball. It didn't make it up the slide, and then NFT Goats went. He whacked this thing. Basically, what happened? His ball went up the slide down a Blinko. For those of you who don't know what Blinko is, it's like a big slide, and the ball just goes down a bunch of different ways, and there's numbers on the bottom. If you got into a 1, that's called a hole-in-one, and you automatically get entered into a doodle. This motherfucker actually got the hole-in-one. Whole place starts going crazy. They start playing music. We have no idea what's going on because we didn't even know that was the rules. Nobody told us. And they're like, congrats. You're one of 3 people who qualify to win a doodle. This was probably like 4 o'clock. So you're assuming not that many people have gotten the hole-in-one. Doodles announced yesterday that there was 12 hole-in-ones total, and all people that got a hole-in-one won a free doodle. So he won a free doodle.
Boom.
I did not. He was making fun of me because he's like, "You said
Did he at
you're a
least
better
split it with
golfer
you?
than me."
Did you go Harvey's on the doodle with
No,
you?
nothing. I didn't get it. Not even like a handshake afterwards. Unbelievable. But congrats, NFT Goats, on winning the doodle. And I got to give Doodles a credit. I think that is. They didn't announce this, right? At least I didn't know. Maybe they did. It seemed like people were in the know, but there was definitely no communication to me saying you have an opportunity to win a doodle on this hole. But I think they did it smart. Giving away 12 doodles. Some of those people were not part of the doodle community. It was $50 to come in and play if you're not a holder. So all of a sudden, somebody spends $50, walks in, plays some miniature golf, walks away with a $9,000 prize. Not a bad way to get some buzz going around the community. So shout out to Doodles for making that happen. And I'm a little pissed off I didn't win.
Doodles hosted a major event at South by Southwest, was one of the talks of the town. Doodle Putt doesn't seem to have disappointed. I didn't go and play. Market doesn't respond to it. It doesn't seem like there's any movement in the Doodle price point. So there's no movement on the floor price of Doodles. Do you think the money is well spent for brands that are creating these types of events like Doodles, and this is the expectation that is needed?
I mean, listen, I think we're at a point where there's a lot of expectation, right? Like if you're a holder of certain projects, you expect to be some sort of presence. I know Gary Vee did V-Scope on Scope of the Beach, and there was a big party with a big DJ and open bar. And I think 250 or 300 V-Friend holders were invited and got tickets to go. I just think it's normal expectation. I mean, one of the things that BAYC had a party Saturday night, 10 p.m. They had a bunch of DJs there. I didn't get in. I guess I'm not important enough. I didn't really try. I'm not going to lie to you. We drove by and there was probably 1,000 people online, and there was no way we were going to wait online. And they did announce, hey, we're at capacity, 1 ape in, 1 ape out. And it was a party. It was like at a warehouse in Wynwood. Music was blasting. It was a little crazy. So you also, I think what these brands had to battle is Art Basel, right? Like or Art Basel. Like there's tons of people out there. There's models. There's celebrities. There like you almost can't just cater to the NFT crowd. You have to kind of cater to the rest of Miami and the rest of the kind of that ecosystem. So I'm sure a lot of people were disappointed that they had to wait online. I wasn't super disappointed because I would have not waited online. But yeah, I mean, can you imagine if you're a BAYC holder and you got there and you're like, shit, now I got to wait an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, whatever it is to wait online. But my answer is I think there's expectations for these brands to be there representing, right? It's more of a branding play at this point. I don't necessarily think it's like we're gonna move floors. And what does move floors, right? Like at this point, it's not much, and it's a very minimal movement.
Yeah, I think in a bear market, it doesn't matter what the announcement is, the floors move very slowly, and a lot of excitement happening there. But probably then the wrong metric to be looking at. If you're looking at floor price movements as your indication of value, you're probably missing the wood for the trees in what is happening here. We're talking about two brands hosting major events at Art Basel, bringing in the crowds, thousands of people, and bringing out new interesting ways to experience IP. And that wasn't just the only, there were many, many different events happening. World of Woman had a gala dinner. You mentioned VCon. Every notable brand was hosting some kind of event at Art Basel Miami and bringing the community together. I had many conversations with artists, creators, builders, and really you got the sense that it doesn't matter what's happening in the bear market. While it is not as easy to necessarily kind of flip your NFT or make some quick bucks, the people that are here and that were there are there for the long term and are building, and there's a lot of exciting things to come. One of those, which I really was impressed with, was 9DCC with Gmoney and what he was doing at the event, minting new t-shirts, minting new shirts for his fashion brand, bringing in an experiential element to the creation of fashion. What you could do was go there and mint your shirt in real time. What was happening then is it was a collaboration with Snowfro, the creators of the Squiggles, and you got a unique 9DCC shirt that was random. Based on a number of traits. It could have been random on the traits that you got, and minted it in real time. We had people like Farouk, we saw Kevin
Rose.
Kevin Rose there. We had every kind of influencer and celebrity
I think
coming
everybody
to
was
mint
there.
a shirt there. Everyone came through to that, and the shirt has a blue chip device in it that allows you to now enter certain events and can be used as a merchandising access point into future events, as well as if you attend certain things, the shirt can have more utility and more value. So it's really interesting to see that type of stuff being built out in real time. And right next to that was Clonex and Artifact's booth. And I walked into that and I saw what they're doing, and they're creating similar type of experiences with sneakers. You could get some crypto kicks that also has some near field communication chips built into it. They're randomized in terms of the ones that you get and the certain kind of traits that you get. And then there's some augmented reality experiences that happen on top of that, where you could get a augmented reality jacket or blazer and a whole bunch of stuff happening. So definitely a lot going on in the world of fashion, and two brands leading the way there. Gmoney with his 9DCC, and then Nike with the crypto kicks and Artifact world. So definitely lots happening despite the price, and I was very encouraged by that.
Yeah, I mean, two things. Also, Gmoney came out doxxed, which was like the biggest news of the weekend. Everybody now knows what he really looks like. But I saw a few people wearing that shirt out that weekend, and one it was a young kid. I was out at the dinner on Saturday night, and I was like, "Oh, cool shirt." And he turned around with a huge smile on his face. He's like, "Oh, thank you." And then he goes to his buddy, "If you know, you know." And his buddy goes, "Oh my God, bro, you haven't stopped talking about this shirt for like the last 2 weeks." So I mean, I think that there's a there's like you're getting that props, right? You're getting that recognition. You do know you're in part of a kind of almost a secret society and a secret club. And I think it's just in community building, right? It's like the fraternity, right? If you run into somebody that's running kind of wearing the same fraternity letters as you, or I always give the example as a sports fan, if you see somebody wearing a jersey of a team that you root for, you automatically dab them up and you say what's up, and there's no barrier, right? It's like we kind of respect each other right off the bat. So it's cool to see in the crypto world. It's definitely cool, and it's innovative, right? They were able to do something on the spot. It tied into, the whole snow throw, and each one gets a separate design. And there's more rares and things of that nature. Interesting to see what continues to happen. I think a lot of brands will follow suit. I think more interesting than anybody else. I think the big luxury brands are going to look at this as a win, right? Now there's going to be, Prada, Gucci, or Balenciaga, or whatever the brand is that's going to come into the space. and they're gonna say, "We're seeing it working in real time. We're seeing." So now you could introduce a whole new component to these brands and make it more, crypto native. And I think that is very, very interesting, and I'm excited to see what's gonna continue to happen. I think the most interesting thing is I got to have dinner with my buddy Yossi. We talked shop. We we had laughs. We had a few drinks, and it was, and I think that's probably
That's
the
what it's all
most
about.
important thing. That's what it's all about. You get to see people. You get to have a few laughs, and I think that this is probably, like, we know Art Basel is all about kind of the art event, but I believe that this is probably going to be one of the bigger crypto events going forward, just because there's so much going on that's around it. And I think people are going to continue to make their way here, and I think next year there's going to be more and more, NFT crypto events that are going to kind of be associated with
Yeah,
this.
I think you're right.
Yeah, and I wouldn't be surprised in 10 years from now if it's, you know art and crypto or art and NFTs, and this is the biggest
Crypto
weekend
Basel.
for that. Crypto Basel. There we go. Sponsored by Go to the Metaverse.
Done. Well, that is all we have for you today. We hope you enjoyed the show. Remember to smash that subscribe button and win the
Boom.
chance to get the contents of the Goat Bolt. And if you want to be like NFT Goats and be a winner, all you need to do is smash that subscribe button, and you can stand a
Boom.
chance to win the content of the vault.
We'll see you guys
Have a good
soon.
one, my
Everybody
friends.
have a great one. Peace.